Hi guys, I'm Mugdha and I have with me the cast of highly anticipated film Shamshera. There's Ranbir, Vaani and of course director Karan Malhotra. So hi all of you.
Hi Mugdha.
My pleasure, and I have to start with Ranbir. It is your return on screen after 4 years and a lot has changed. You've gotten married, now you're all set to embrace fatherhood. So what kind of a mind space does this put you in?
Professionally, it's the same. I've been working on these films since the last 4-5 years. Personally, it's a very different feeling. It's something which I've never experienced before. So I can't compare that to my movies. But sitting here today, I think there is a lot of anxiety where Shamshera is concerned, a lot of nervousness, a lot of excitement. Finally, a film of mine is coming after 4 years in the theatre. It's a film that we're terribly excited about. We worked very hard at it. It's a Hindi masala film. It's entertaining, it's engaging, and I can't wait for the audiences to experience it.
Right. There's this talk of the whole heroism culture dying in Bollywood. And wherein, the South stars are taking over and, they're impressing the audience with the kind of heroism culture that used to exist in Bollywood. Now with Shamshera, we see this larger-than-life film and you're playing a quintessential Bollywood hero. Do you think this is going to give like a new lease of life to this whole culture again?
I think Hindi cinema or Indian cinema always made films on heroes.
Maybe,
there is a birth of other kind of cinema and other kind of heroes. But if you go and see, this year Gangubai was about a hero, in a lot of ways. We've not had many releases this year, but I think, but it's great, if you put Shamshera in that bracket, we're very happy because that was the intention. These are characters which I've never played. I've never played a larger-than-life hero in my career. So I'm very happy, if people see it that way.
Right. Vaani, I have to ask you, after delivering this phenomenal performance in Chandigarh Kare Aashiki, now Shamshera is releasing. Do you think it just takes one film or one, act to be there to prove yourself? How much has changed since in terms of offers, projects that are coming your way?
I've heard that a lot. Like sometimes a lot of people said, okay, this one film changed the whole trajectory, and it kind of like, sometimes people's careers take off after getting recognized in a film. But I also feel with every Friday night, your life changes. With every film that comes, you have to prove yourself all over again. So I do believe that it's consistency that we all are thriving and striving for, and I'm also hoping to do the same, to be able to be good in every film that I do. Every time I have a release, I hope people can give me the same love or perhaps more.
Right. Coming to you, Karan,
Yes.
I have to ask you, we all know that the script did not initially have Ranbir playing a double role. How did he convince you into doing that?
It was very simple. What was great was that he offered himself for it. But then I think both of us had only one goal, that even if he's doing both the roles, they should be as convincing as possible. So we worked towards it. We did a lot of look tests, we did a lot of readings about it. And finally, when both of us were convinced that he will carry off and justify both the roles for the film, is when we both agreed to it mutually. So that's how it really happened. It was not that Ranbir ne bola karna hai to phir wo ho gaya, because I think for him and for me, it was very important that because he is such an valued asset of the film, that he has to be used correctly. He cannot be overused, he cannot be underused or misused for that matter. And I think he's also very conscious of that fact, which is why we did a lot of work on Shamshera before we actually came to the point that Ranbir karega hero. But fortunately, it all happened for the better.
Right. Since you two are here, we have to talk about your sizzling chemistry. So, who broke the ice and how did you hit it off?
I think it very naturally happened. When Vaani and me met, I think before the film started, I think both our energies are channelized, and they're alike, and they're channelized towards having a healthy professional relationship, making a good film together. We both are passionate about our careers, and it was very easy. There was never a time when I felt awkward romancing her. I don't know if you felt awkward romancing me or doing emotional scenes with her or action scenes with her. I think we naturally just became friends. Why are you giving me a polite smile? I don't think you agree with me.
You don't?
Of course I do. What kind of a smile am I supposed to
Do you
give?
consider me as your friend?
Of course I do. My God, why would you even doubt that?
Okay.
Would you romance him in your next
Yeah,
film?
this is like
Would you romance him in your next film again?
What kind of question is that?
It's a proper legit question. Answer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a
See,
film,
answer
if
नहीं हो
there's-
रहा है हाँ?
But
सोच के बोल रही है.
wait a second. Firstly, don't put me on the spot. Of course, I will. If there's a film, if there's demand or whatever the film has its demands, of course I will. I would love to work with Ranbir, not in one film, but in every film. See, RK?
Yes.
That's how much I love
Likewise.
Since we're talking about Shamshera, this larger-than-life film, we also have to talk about the film's budget. It's humongous, as reported. Now, I have to talk about how much does box office matter to each one of you?
It's the most important. Karan has done his pre-production in so much of detail. The kind of production house that Yash Raj has and the services that they have provided Karan to make this film. It was amazing that they could have done it in such a budget, but I think you will be able to speak better
I
about
absolutely
this.
second you on that because Shamshera is an expensive film for sure, and because it had so many variables, it could have gone out of hand very easily. Especially when you do a heavy action film. You know, action is something that you can't predict. You plan it for 5 days, it goes on for 10 days, it goes on for 15 days. But I think apart from the prep we did, yes, we had a very intense crew, a very dedicated crew to achieve what we had to achieve in the number of days, because every day was costing us a lot. Apart from that, I would really want to mention my producer here, Aditya Chopra, because he's a man who is a very strong and a very aware and a very present producer. There was not a single day when he walked up to me and told me, "Yaar, Karan, ये नहीं करते, ये बहुत महंगा है, ये बहुत सस्ता है, ये too much हो जाएगा." He gave me everything I needed for the film. In spite of that, he kept it in check for his own well-being and ours. Because what happens is when you make a big film, it already has a big budget. But when the budget goes beyond your control, then the recoveries of the film on the box office also start taking a toll. You know, that pressure is some pressure that you don't want, because you want the healthy pressure. Yes, you set out to make a film that looks big and it should come at a certain cost. But when that cost goes out of control, that's when the real negative pressure starts coming onto all of us, I think, including the producer, the actors and the director. And that is where I think an active producer, aware producer like Aditya Chopra has really kind of controlled or kind of guarded us from falling into that trap.
Right. How much does box office matter to you?
It does matter to me. Like everybody said here, you know, it's kind of a validation as to the audience is accepting it. But you know what? It also has a different take on it. Sometimes I feel like art gets judged, and sometimes people can be a bit unforgiving. There are a lot of impressionable minds. A lot of people don't take that risk to go and see a film for what they, you know, how they want to like make a judgment for themselves. They tend to rely a lot on reviews and critics, and that kind of can also affect the box office number. So you know what happens is it gets harshly judged. Every film, it finds its audience, but what happens is a lot of impressionable minds already have a preconceived notion about a film, and they never give that movie a chance. So it has its good and bad impact.
Right. Since Sanju sir is not here, I have to ask this to you, Ranbir. It's going to be a real life Sanju versus a real life Sanju. So action sequences काफी anticipated है. How was it shooting it with him?
It was, firstly, I was very scared, you know, because I've really not done action in my life in the other films that I've done. So to kind of be convinced about it and be confident about it was a challenge for me. I did a lot of rehearsals. We had a great action team behind us also. Karan is a damn good visionary for action, because his action has emotion. It's just not pointless action. But then working with Sanju sir, and especially the climax and the interval sequences, he was so supportive, you know, because I came with a preconceived notion that, you know, apart from being Sanjay Dutt, he's also my senior, you know, and how will I fight with him, how will I hit him, I respect and love him so much. But he just kind of made it so easy for me and comfortable for me. If I was doing it wrong, he was taking me to a corner and said, you know, do it in this angle, it'll look better. So he really helped me in that aspect. And the time when he had to hit me, I think he was more nervous because he kept going to Karan and saying, "Kya मैं कैसे मारूँ इसको? इसकी padding ठीक है?" When I was doing wire work, you know, for action, he kept checking if, you know, it's safe. He asked the stunt team also that, you know, is it safe? So he really had my back and all of our backs. You know, I think he's someone who's very protective of the people he works with.
Right, that's so sweet. I have to ask you, since I'm talking to Ranbir, I can't not talk about Alia. So there was this one sweet video of you wanting to surprise Alia at the airport, और वो जैसे ही बाहर निकली, उनको सब paps ने बोल दिया कि RK has come, RK has come. So you've said this in your interviews that, you know, I was born into this. and I was always prepared for, you know, the paps and this whole pap culture. But how much of it are you going to be
You know, you have a
okay?
strange resemblance to Rani Mukherjee, I just realized.
What?
While she was talking,
really?
yeah.
Thank
Her
you so
eyes,
much. How much of are you okay when your child, you know, when you have your baby? How much are you going to be okay with the paps clicking him or her?
I don't know. You know, I haven't. अभी वहाँ तक पहुँचा नहीं हूँ मैं. You know, let the child come to this world first. We are very excited about that, and we'll take the right decisions. You know, which we'll try and protect the child as much as we can. But we also understand that we are a part of this industry, and there is a certain demand of an insight in your personal life. I am not somebody who endorses that. From the beginning, I've been very private about my life, or as much as I try to be. But I don't know, you know, this is something that me and Alia really have to talk about.
Right. Thank you so much. One last word to your fans about Shamshera, why they should go and watch the film.
Shamshera is releasing on 22nd of July. It's 3 days from now. We made this film with a lot of love, a lot of hard work. It's a film that I have never experienced before as an audience, as a fan. Forget me as an actor. It's got a wonderful cast, it's got amazing music, it's entertaining, it's got action, comedy, romance, drama, and it's just going to be fun at the cinema. So try and catch it at a cinema near you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.